Ta-da. All right. Are you sitting comfortably? In which case, we'll send a message to the committee, and we'll think about convening a panel to discuss the possibility of going live. This is episode 219 of Australian Transformers Weekly. We're bringing you Transformers news from around the world with Australian accents, thoughts, sensibilities, and yes, anger, because everything's fucking exclusive to the US. In this episode, we will be talking about New Kingdom figures. Studio Series is apparently going to hit that 86 itch, and we're going to discuss whether or not Brad can get statue news into the run sheet, into the show for the 40th time running. I'll give you a hint. The spoiler for that, the answer is no. However, there is a
mention statues.
No, we don't generally talk about statues, but there is a lot of statue news hanging around this week. I'm reliably informed by Brad. All that and more is coming up on this week's episode of Australian Transformers Weekly. I don't know what I'm singing. Okay, right. Shall we go?
All right.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like this is like people like working out before a boxing match. Yeah.
Man,
I think we're getting into beast mode for the upcoming Kingdom line, aren't we?
Nice segue.
We are. Thank you for joining us, everyone. I'm Jason. Joining me this week from left to right on the screen, we have Bradley coming to us from Perth. Also from left to right, if you look at the map of Australia. Bradley, how are you doing over there?
I'm doing quite well, thank you, Jason. We also didn't mention our fourth host for this week, Scorponok.
I was hoping not to mention him because Scorpy just tends to take over the show when he gets a mention. So
yeah, I've got him on very good behavior though, because Fort Max is right next to him, so he's all right.
We can't quite see that on your video, so I'll give you a solo layout. There we go.
There's Fortress Maximus keeping Scorponok in check, and don't they look lovely together? And Double Deal is there for the lols.
There he is. Now, since I can't really see it in the background, is that a G1 Scorponok or is that a Titan Scorpion?
No, this is a Titan one.
Titan, yeah. Is that a Titan Fort Max as well?
No, this is G1 Fort Max.
That's the G1, yeah, right. That's why I was wondering.
Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. Moving slightly over to the right into the centre of Australia, we have Max coming to us from Adelaide. How are you doing, Max?
All right, yeah. How are you?
I'm doing okay. So I'm doing all right. However, so we record the podcast on a Friday night. If you're listening later and not listening live, it is currently the. I put the wrong date in the episode on YouTube. I've realised, because I should do better than to just read the date from the run sheet. It is the 25th of September, the day that a massive cold snap has hit Sydney. I went out at lunchtime today and it was nice and warm, but it was snowing in the Blue Mountains and in Ballarat in Victoria, and the cold is here now. It's like we're almost a third of the way through spring, and Sydney is currently like some very low number of degrees, and apparently it's going to get down to feeling like about 2 degrees tonight or something. It's unpleasant, is what it is. It's the word I'm looking for. But other than that, like, the weather has been lovely in Sydney this week. So it's been nice to get out, go for a bit of a walk, get on the bike, go for a ride, and now I'm back to wearing a hoodie. It's unfortunate.
Perth feels like it's in the middle of a heat wave at the moment. We reached 20 degrees.
We had 29 the other day. Like, what do you?
It legit feels warm compared to how it's been.
Oh, fair enough. I always assume that Perth is hot.
Yeah, I thought Perth was supposed to be warmer than the rest of the country.
It's like the third windiest city on the planet. So it's usually
they're actually mostly just angry.
Yeah. No one can drive in Perth, so we're always angry at each other.
Yeah. I mean, it makes a change from just being angry at all the other drivers on the road in Sydney, but yeah. I say this as a cyclist, but yes.
Yeah, because being a cyclist gives you a right to comment on traffic.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't in any way. Cyclists are idiots. Motorists are idiots. Taxis, because they don't count as motorists, are idiots. So are pedestrians. If you assume that everyone is an idiot, you will be fine.
And very lonely. But
oh, well, that was nothing to do with relationship advice, but sure, go for it. So look, it's been a busy few weeks in Transformers news. The number of leaks that we've had has sort of died down. There's sort of a regular time of every week now that we get a leak of something that's coming up, and nothing disappointed this week. It did happen, but it is the week of Hasbro PulseCon, so there's a few official reveals happening this weekend. It's sort of the leaks are sort of taking a bit of a backseat to the official reveals. I did notice that Hasbro officially revealed something on Thursday, which is the traditional leak day of the last 3 months. That's probably no coincidence on their part, but we will be talking about some of those leaks in an upcoming news story or two. Shall we get started? We're going to visit some Masterpiece news. It's been a little while since we've had.
I was just thinking, with all these leaks that are coming up, when Hasbro PulseCon actually does happen, it'll be like, here the new reveal. Actually, you already know everything. Thanks for coming. See you next year.
They've done that before. I was going to say it's been a while since we've had a new Masterpiece figure, but then I just realised I just got this week. But yeah,
name dropper.
But let's go to the screen share and have a look at what's coming to the Masterpiece line. So we do have some pictures of MP50 Tiger Track. He's a big boy. He's a bit of a chunky boy.
Tigertron.
Hey,
Tigertron.
What did I say?
You said Tiger Track.
Yeah, there's so many tigers, Tigertron is tracking well to release next tomorrow. So, anyway, this figure should be released tomorrow, along with Super Megatron as well. Actually, so that should be getting ready to ship at various vendors around the world in the next couple of weeks. We got this in-hand image posted to TFW 2005 a couple of days ago, showing Tigertron does have a very lovely turquoise and white color scheme. There's some lovely metallic paint on him there, and just sort of basically to just go, yes, that's correct. The official Transformers PR account decided to send out some images today as well, just sort of a few hours ago. So. Where we did have an in-hand image, we now have some official photos as well. So yeah, you can see his alt mode has. His alt mode is sort of what we expect with sort of the white tiger, and we know that the figure seems very similar to the smaller Cheetor version. There's a couple of nice comparison photos there. He seems like he's quite a bit larger. We know from previous looks at Tigertron that while it seems like it's just an upscale, there is quite a lot of extra engineering in that figure. So he's a big boy. He's not as big as Dinobot, but So these guys should look really nice.
An oversized KO repaint.
Not quite, because it isn't just an upscale.
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy. Notably, it's the 50th Masterpiece release. That's kind of a milestone for the series, even though there's been pluses and various suffixes along the way. It's far from the 50th actual release in the line, but it is MP50. He does carry the official 50 designation, we should start seeing him soon. Do either of you guys have him on order?
No, I just don't see much appeal in him. He's kind of not all that important. To say. It's
just not into Beast Wars.
No, basically, yeah.
I'm into
Beast Wars. Way of saying it's Beast Wars, and I don't really care.
Yeah.
As a figure, I would say it looks excellent.
I'm into Beast Wars, but I'm not into Masterpiece. And yeah, like Max said, this figure does look amazing. Like I legit thought it was just a repaint of Cheetah until we saw that scale shot, and yeah, it's great.
So I think one of the big differences between this and Cheetah, I think, is that this has a real face on the chest, whereas I think Cheetah had a fake one.
Yeah, I think they had to cheat the face on Cheetah's robot mode.
You've amused yourself, haven't you?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
We're going to be doing this all night.
Yeah,
I think the
actually
impressive
on.
thing about it is that it could have just been generic upscale, but it does really seem like they've actually gone the full mile and made it unique where they can.
Yeah.
Before we move on from the story, we will translate Takara Tomi's Twitter that says released on 9/26, which is the 26th of September. As we're recording this, it's in a mere number of hours. MP50 Tigatron that was active in Beast Wars is faithfully reproduced in the CG animation setting, completely transformed from white Siberian tiger to a robot. Click here to purchase. Wow. That's
Have you already clicked there, Jason?
I have not, but I've also learned my lesson not to click links live while screen sharing. So, I am not going to do that. Although I'm fairly sure it would just go to Takara Tomy Mall.
Yeah, well, you'd hope, but yeah, don't want to find out the hard way.
Or given that it's Tigatron, Takara Tomy Mall MAUL.
God, and people think coronavirus is bad. This podcast is going to kill more people.
Am I? I mean, you know, I'm worse than the common flu apparently. Let's keep going. So, Tigatron is on his way out to retailers. I assume he's probably shipped and getting ready to drop. I have mine on order from Omar Primus in Singapore. I've been ordering quite a lot of things from there lately, and in fact, Super Megatron is also due for release tomorrow. So. Should be getting both of those from Omar Primus. Looking forward.
Should be getting shipping notifications soon.
Yes, that's the thing that I've been living for the last few weeks is shipping notifications for things that I've ordered.
Yeah, because I legit forgot that I ordered Super Megatron. I think after we first talked about him on the podcast several months ago, I pre-ordered him. I think I did it through my Primus as well. And yeah, you just reminded me Super Megatron's potentially on its way.
I've just reminded you that you need to set a Gmail alert on shipping notification. So I legit do have to be a little bit careful because when I pre-ordered these, we weren't in lockdown, so I need to make sure that they actually ship to my home address instead of the office.
Has the lockdown changed your parcel delivery? Has it?
Well, yes, because so I don't go to the office anymore. I've this has actually been an interesting thing in adjusting to working from home life. I don't leave the house some days, partly because I don't really want to get COVID, but also partly because I know that there's a courier coming to deliver something someday. And while most of the time the couriers seem to time it so that they arrive while I'm in the shower at 7:30 in the morning, occasionally they're a little bit late. And one of my shipments from the US turned up via DHL courier, and DHL apparently doesn't just like deliver everything in the morning. So they turned up at about 4:00 in the afternoon. The most amusing part of this is that most of the time during the day, I have my cat sitting on the desk with me here as sort of my ultimate work from home accessory. And as soon as the buzzer goes off on the door, he is just out. I'm having none of whatever's about to turn up. He just goes and hides under my bed. So I feel like the ultimate takeaway from that is that I need to change my door chime. Stop taking my cat. Stop scaring my cat. But yeah, no, there are some days that I don't leave home because I know that something is coming. So yeah, like it used to be that I didn't really care because I'd get things delivered to the mailroom at the office, and like I would know what day things were arriving and stuff. But I didn't have to worry about not leaving my desk or anything like that because the mailroom would collect it. But what ends up happening here sometimes is that if I know that something is arriving on a particular day at least, then I know to expect it, and I know to check the foyer occasionally if I haven't received anything yet, because sometimes the deliveries just get dropped in the foyer with no notification.
Oh,
that is one of the big differences between working from home and working from the office. So yeah, there's that.
Does stuff get delivered to the office, then you have to go get it? Is that what you're saying, or it doesn't?
Stuff has been delivered to the office, and I lean on a friend who goes into the office occasionally to pick it up and bring it to me.
Oh, okay. Well, as long as you're still getting your stuff, I guess.
Oh yeah. No, I'm still getting my stuff, but yeah, no, I think only a couple of things have turned up to the office in that time. So yeah, I do have a set of pins that's awaiting delivery at the moment that went to the office because they were posted well before the pandemic started, and they sat on the tarmac in Mexico waiting for a flight.
Oh,
so they say. But yeah. Anywho, let's get back to talking about some Transformers, shall we?
Yeah, all
right. We know that the next installment of things after Earthrise is Kingdom. We've been waiting faithfully for actual reveals of Kingdom toys, where previously we've just had leaks. Yes, yeah, we've been waiting for Kingdom to come for a while, and this week we finally got some official photographs of Kingdom photos. Hasbro is running its PulseCon convention this weekend, and they are officially revealing some figures, but they let some things slip early on IGN on Thursday morning our time, including a look at a frankly fantastic looking Beast Wars Megatron, or whatever his actual designation is, a Dino Mode Megatron from Beast Wars, and he is said to be leader class. He might be the first time that we've actually, in this whole War for Cybertron line, gotten the leader class figure that is legitimately just a big figure instead of a small one with armor. However, the possibility does exist that it's a smaller bot with armor as well, because if you look at his arms and legs, it looks like he's got bits clipped on. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, no, there's Beast Megatron, there's Cheetor, there's Cyclonus looking very unbeast-like. We'll get to talking about that shortly, and there's Rat Trap as well. So it's a big 4-up reveal this week of new figures. Now, where should we start with them? I feel like we already talked about Rat Trap and Cheetor last episode because we had the leaked versions of them that came out. Before we move on to other figures, how do you guys feel about these figures? Max, you already said you're not that into Beast Wars. Are you interested in Beast Wars as it comes into Kingdom?
No, not really. Look, it's not. I can joke about it, but it's just not really my thing. So I can rag on it as much as I want. But that being said, if I'm looking at these just sort of in the perspective of a collector, and trying to make a judgment of them as figures, I think the 3 Beast Wars figures all look excellent. That Megatron and Rat Trap especially are really impressed by so far.
Rat Trap is a small figure. He's a core class, which is, as we've sort of said a few times, he's the new Legends, but he's got quite a lot of articulation. Looks like a really nice face sculpt, sort of really, really emoting there as well, and quite a lot of posability. We'll sort of take a look at some of his shots a little bit more up close here. Now, just the two of them. So we looked at the Rat mode a couple of weeks ago and just sort of said, it looks a bit panely, sort of like all the Masterpiece Beast Wars figures do. It still looks panely, but I guess it almost looks sort of forgivable in a way. Do you guys see what I'm getting at there?
Yeah, and I feel like with Beast Wars, you sort of have to forgive it sometimes because while obviously sometimes they can make it work as dedicated chunks, inevitably Beast figures are going to have more panel forming than other lines. It's an inherent trait of the line. So when they can do it well, as they look to be doing here, I can't really leverage any complaints there.
Bradley.
Hmm.
Bradley.
He looks all right. I have a feeling I'm going to be replacing many of my Beast Wars toys because these ones look to be like in a fairly good scale and accuracy to the TV show and such. Good
I guess
scale.
it sort of depends which figures actually get released, but from what we've heard, rumor-wise, like they are covering most of the core cast of the show, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so. And that Megatron looks really good. I have to see because I've got the I think they did a 2006 box set of Megatron and Optimus Primal in Japan, and I've got that one as my Beast Wars Megatron. But this one looks sleeker and meaner.
Yeah, he
Cyclonus
does.
just drop dead sexy.
Right, we'll talk about Cyclonus in a minute. There's the sort of the full beast mode, the T-Rex mode of Megatron there. Now, it does look really good. There's a few things that stand out to me. Like there's a few gaps where sort of not so much that panels meet, but sort of where joints move. So you can sort of see on his left knee there's a really big gap because of the way that they've posed him. But that's not really a problem. I feel. I'm also like Max. I'm also not really into the Beast figures, but I could see myself buying some of these. Maybe not at full price. Maybe on a bit of a sale or something. Maya does their 20% off all the time, so maybe at one of those sales.
One good thing.
I'm doing it just out of curiosity.
Sorry. I didn't hear anything that you said.
Brad, you go. Sorry.
I was just saying one selling point this Megatron has over other Beast Wars Megatrons is this one doesn't have a water gun in his head, so you can actually get a growling pose like that.
There's a water gun?
There's a water gun in Beast Wars Megatron's head. I can get him, but he's got his mouth is closed and he has like a reservoir that you can fill up with water. And then when you push the top of his head, he growls and squirts out water.
I did not know.
Barney's was a beautiful time.
I mean, when I'm angry,
this is the one I got from 2006. So this one still keeps the water pistol feature. But yeah, this one looks just amazing.
So I think this is the only robot mode photo that we have of Megatron, but he is an impressive looking figure. It looks to me like the tail is clipped onto his left arm, and the head sort of seems to be probably sort of like detached and clipped onto his right arm as a bit of a glove. So maybe we are looking at some sort of almost a shell, maybe some kind of a shell former for the main body, and a few parts detaching and forming up. That's fine. I don't mind it.
Well, in the TV show, he's portrayed as, you sometimes see him, he has his left arm exposed. He doesn't have the tail on. And that's only been mimicked once in toy. And it wasn't really a hand. It was more of a hook. So if this actually has hands and they actually clip on, that'll be pretty sweet.
I don't know. It might be a hook. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. We can't quite tell from the detail in this shot. But I'm sure now that the figure's been revealed, we'll start seeing leaks of it pop up all over the place. Let's go back a little bit and talk about Cyclonus.
Oh yeah!
Now, this is real interesting in terms of just placement in the lines, because as we'll talk about later, there's this whole Studio Series 86 thing that's apparently happening, which we haven't seen in the official reveals of yet. But we're also seeing a very 1986 movie Cyclonus here in the Kingdom line. So
aren't we?
Entirely guessing is going on at this point, because I've also heard that there's going to be other regular like modern movie figures in the Studio Series and other 86 movie figures in Kingdom. So the way I'm seeing it is maybe they want to have Kingdom as a predominantly Beast Wars line, and they want to keep Studio Series as predominantly a modern movie line, but they still want to have that G1 influence there. So it seems to me like they're going to have this sort of Studio Series 86 stuff, as like crossing between the two lines almost. So it's maintaining that G1 influence in both spaces while having these lines be dominated by other pieces of a franchise.
I have a slightly different take on this, right?
All right.
So next year is the 35th anniversary of Transformers the movie, and so they do want to get updates to some of those characters out there, but they also want to do their Beast Wars influence because it's also an anniversary for Beast Wars. Now, we know that sort of the plot line for Kingdom involves the characters that we've been following from Cybertron to Earth. Because remember, it's still War for Cybertron.
Yeah.
The characters that we've been following for the first two parts of this trilogy coming to Earth and then having some kind of a time travel thing so that the characters all meet up. So as we're sort of getting towards the tail end of the line, sure, they'll bring in Cyclonus, they'll bring in Scourge, they'll bring in other characters. And so I think it's fine for them to bring in sort of the later G1 characters into this version of the line. We'd heard there's a Rodimus coming. We've also heard that there's a bigger Rodimus coming. We'll get to that. I don't know. I say Rodimus, I mean Hot Rod, but whatever. I'm just going to come out and say it. My theory is that there is no Studio Series 86 line, and all of these figures that we're seeing are actually coming to Kingdom. Because this Cyclonus sat around for ages. Remember, this leaked at the same time as Maverick leaked, and we didn't really know what it was. We knew it was Cyclonus. Yeah. We knew it was the Cyclonus, and that was one of the big things that fueled the rumors of 86 spots going to Studio Series. But it turns out it's not part of Studio Series.
Yeah, well, you know, back then I was saying what you were saying now. I said, I don't reckon there is a Studio Series 86. I think this is some sort of mix-up.
Yeah.
Right. And the reason I've changed my tune now isn't because of anything in particular. It's just because people haven't stopped saying Studio Series 86. Like, they keep bringing it up.
Yeah,
so you're right. That there isn't any. So I'm basing my opinion off the fact that people just keep on using that. But you're right in that there isn't actually any concrete information about Studio Series 86 at all. It hasn't been mentioned in any sort of official capacity.
Yeah, it has. So it hasn't been mentioned in any official capacity. If there was a Studio Series line based around characters from the movie, this would be in it.
Yes.
Like, this would be in it. The Quintessons would be in it. They are not. They're in War for Cybertron. The Quintesson Pit of Judgment, as I've said, because at the moment, besides all the Americans who purchased it from Hasbro Pulse last night, at the moment, I'm one of the, I'm going to say few, but one of the people on the planet with this Pit of Judgment set. There is no Studio Series 86 branding on it, but there is a Transformers the movie logo, and it's next to the War for Cybertron logo. So I see them doing I see what they're doing as sort of a bit of a subline or an adjunct to War for Cybertron, just celebrating the movie characters as sort of a bit of a sideline. I don't think it needs to be Studio Series.
I think Studio Series 86 came out as sort of like a meme or a troll to fandom, because if you're going to do an 86 like remembrance line, you wouldn't really do it in Studio Series because that's dedicated to the live action movies, isn't it?
Well, it's dedicated to big screen action. Right, so like it doesn't necessarily preclude it from including the 86 movie, but it hasn't up until now. And I don't really see a massive reason for them. So, like I said, if there was going to be an 86 line for Studio Series, this would be in it. Quintessons would be in it. They're not.
Yep. And I am super excited for this Cyclonus. The longer I look at this pick that's up, the more I'm like, where the hell are the pre-orders?
Well, the pre-orders are going live this weekend. Let's look at his robot mode as far as we've got a picture of his robot mode. So there's a couple of interesting things about this. I'm seeing giant legs. He's almost got the same thing that Ectotron had happening with his lower legs, right? There's sort of the knee joint is right at the back of part of it. So that's
They look like they may be double jointed.
Hey?
Sorry, they look like they may be double jointed, so you could finagle around it, maybe. To me, I've got nothing to substantiate this solidly, but the way the panel on the back seems to open up, and that double joint there makes me think it could have the Combiner Wars aerial bot leg transformation that I reused a fair few times.
Well, Earthrise Seekers, they have the similar thing. Well, hang on.
I've got one here.
Not really, but it's a similar thing. Like the legs open up. Looks like the similar transformation. Legs open up. You extend it. You close them, and that just looks. I mean, it could. I don't think it'll be mistransformed, would it?
I don't know. It's unknown whether or not IGN or Hasbro made these photos. I suspect Hasbro did, but yeah, I don't know. You know what? I'm sort of. I don't think we're looking at a retool of a Seeker, but
No.
He looks fantastic. Like if you're a fan of Cyclonus, like you're going to be in for this character. It doesn't really matter. Nothing else matters. He's a Voyager class figure. Looks fantastic. And again, if Studio Series 86 existed, this would be in it.
I had the deluxe Cyclonus from Classics like a decade ago, and
I've got about 10 of them.
Yeah, that looks like, that's really screen accurate, but not really to scale with some of the other figures. And I've got Combiner War Cyclonus as my current Cyclonus, and he's to scale, but he looks derpy and silver bolty because he is just a repaint and remold. But this, I want this. I'm really looking forward to this. He looks like he could be the perfect size and screen accuracy to kiss up to Galvatron.
Yes, we haven't seen yet, but we'll see how he manifests in the Kingdom line as well. Excuse me a minute. So so we've got a really, really nice looking Cyclonus. He looks fantastic. What if
his story would be like the brooding loner that he was for that one shot in Transformers Animated, or if he'll be a Herald of Unicron, since Unicron's coming out next year, or
it's hard to say whether or not they'll actually sort of try to tie the line into the fact that Unicron is there. It's worth remembering Unicron also has a War for Cybertron branding.
Yes, he does.
And people have been calling him Siege Unicron, but he's not. He's War for Cybertron Unicron. And again, if there was a Studio Series 86 Unicron,
he would be in it.
Probably have that moniker, but he doesn't. So that's my position on things. And then tomorrow, Hasbro will probably take the stage at PulseCon and just go, "We're doing 86 in Studio Series." I'm like, whatever.
Because if they do 80, if they do 80
Unicron,
if they do 86 studio, if they do 86 Studio Series, it'd be like the 4th reissue of Earthrise Optimus Prime. He's pretty much an 86.
Well, they already released. they already released Optimus from the movie. He's the dead one that they released. That again did not carry a Studio Series 86 branding, but did carry a War for Cybertron branding. It is. It's amusing to me to play with this, but ultimately I don't really care what they do. I just don't think they're going to do what everyone has assumed that they're going to do. So look, we've spent quite a lot of time sort of drooling over
salivating,
Megatron and Cyclonus. Any other thoughts on the figures that we've seen here? We've sort of breezed past Cheetor, but they haven't really given us a lot on Cheetor. And I think we've seen him already. A lot of these look like sort of mini masterpieces in a way, don't they?
Yeah, I probably will end up buying all 4 of them. How about you guys? I know Jason doesn't know that Beast Wars exists. How about Max?
I've got Beast Wars figures. I've got Beast Wars
only because they're masterpiece.
I can't have a missing number in my collection.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my god!
But I've at least taken them out of the box and put them on the shelves. I don't know. I'm definitely going to get Cyclonus. Yep. I try not to buy a lot of the regular retail lines. Like I tend to sort of save my collecting effort for the exclusives in the Gen Selects lines. So I don't know. Cyclonus, I think I'll make an exception for. I'm not sure about the others.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I've been exclusively sticking to Gen Selects for most of the War for Salvage Online, and I feel pretty comfortable with that. It's just been able to really nicely sample each and like the different lines without having to, pull together an entire collection of Beast Wars stuff. So I'll probably wind up getting a couple of exclusives from this.
Yeah.
Do you reckon they'll do a repaint of Cyclonus into Ferak?
Look, it's possible that might end up in Gen Selects. I feel like they've avoided doing too many voyages in that line though. This year it's been a lot of deluxes in the Gen Selects line. There's G2 Megatron and Sandstorm, and I think that's the only. I feel like
was Snaptrap this year or is he last year?
But he's not Gen Selects. He's just.
No, isn't he Generation Selects?
Which one?
The Seacons.
I think
the Seacons.
Generation Select.
Yeah, so they are. Sorry, the Seacons don't count because they're Takara's Gen Select line.
My bad.
Similar to the other one that we'll be talking about. In fact, I think in a few seconds' time. Shall we go to that?
Yes, that's a nice segue.
It is if it works and there's no other story between them. But let's find out. Hey, it's all worked out.
Yeah.
So we saw a few new things. Takara Tomy seems to want to do Combiners as their own Gen Selects releases now, and so they've announced that they are re-releasing Volcanicus, the combined form of the Dinobots that was so well received in Power of the Primes. And they're re-releasing it because it was so well received with accessories and new feet and things and animation correct color schemes for each of the Dinobots involved in the combiner. So what do you guys think of a new version of Volcanicus coming to?
Didn't we speak about this last time?
I think we had a leak of it, but I don't think we had the official reveal. There was some thought that it was going to be sort of an alternate Dinobot or Dino combiner, but we did not expect it to be G1 Dinobots, I believe.
I'm pretty sure we spoke about this last time, like the G1 coloring and such.
Fair enough. Well, in that case, then the news is that it's available from EB Games for $499.
Well, there you go.
Now, let's let that price land for a minute.
It still looks like
it's circling. It's circling above my head, and it's oh dear, that's landed with a bit of a disaster. To say that the price tag of this has been poorly received by the community is an understatement.
Look, maybe if it was like a better combiner, people would that.
I mean, so $499 is third-party combiner territory, and
it's not
that for a first-party combiner that we've already had and is not actually improved from its initial release.
Hasbro is eradicating third party, so they can charge their prices now.
Maybe for a different first-party combiner.
Maybe just not from Volcanicus.
Not for this one.
I mean, I feel like the Seacons were that well received that, like, if they released the Seacons at that price, people would be like,
I would pay that price.
Fine, here you go.
People would suck it up and buy the Seacons for $500. I can't actually fathom anyone buying this. Like, this is one of those situations where you can say, "Oh, something's overpriced." People still buy them. I don't know who's going to buy this thing.
So the interesting thing about this is that to go back to the Studio Series 86 rumors, there are also rumors of new Dinobots coming in Studio Series 86. Now, whether they actually take the form, I believe I said that maybe this will take the form of other Dinobots painted into G1 color schemes. But at the time I was thinking it would be the Bayverse ones, like the box set that they did a few years ago, with the Bayverse Dinobots painted up in their G1 color schemes, but now I'm also wondering if it'll just be Volcanicus. But so the part that has everyone confused about this is that there's rumors of new Dinobots. We're yet to see any of the new Dinobots leak, and for there to be new Dinobots in the same year that Takara is going to release the old Dinobots again seems kind of weird. Seems a bit odd, and makes me wonder if maybe the new Dinobots are not happening.
Yeah, these could be the new Dinobots, just new Dinobots with new colors. It's got a new hat.
Meet the new dinos, same as the old dinos.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I feel like there's not really a lot of love for the Dinobots from Power of the Primes. People found them hard to acquire. So I think people will appreciate being able to get them in one box if they haven't already. But I also feel like that ship has sailed because a lot of people who got frustrated with not being able to complete their Dinobot set, they turned to the KO market, and so they'll have 3 legit dinos and a KO or 2 sitting in their collection, and they'll openly blame Hasbro for it because the distribution of these things sucked. So look, there does exist the possibility that this is a last gasp. It has also been pointed out that when a character is about to be superseded by a new mold, Takara Tomy tends to release a new version, or tends to re-release it. It's like, wait, let us milk that mold one more time.
Just imagine like an article like beginning of next year with someone from Takara Tomy wiping a tear off their eye saying, Takara Tomy shocked at shares drop over Volcanicus pack not selling.
Well, it is an interesting question because apparently the Power of the Primes Dinobots were not that well received in Japan. Japan tends to like its G1 Dinobots, and it likes them not to combine. So this is an odd choice for them.
I mean, it's a good way to advertise them in one shot, but at the same time, maybe do it with their not combined form.
Maybe. Max, got any thoughts, feelings, opinions on Volcanicus?
Kind of bewildered. Is that the feeling?
I think it's more a state of mind.
Yeah, I don't get it, and I don't get this one. It's just.
Well, you don't get it, and you won't get it.
Yeah, well, I won't get it. It's a stupid decision, really. Yeah.
So since we were talking a lot about the price for it, I think it's fair to point out that while the $500 price point is eye-watering, if you actually want this, you would be stupid not to get it from a retailer like Oh My Primus. It is $230. I think it's $210 there. That's less than half the price of what EB is charging, and they'll ship it to you for about $20. So
are they sponsoring us?
No, they're not. But they're not. But I might send them this episode. Yeah, I might send them this episode and see if they'd like to. But it just turns out they're a good place to buy things from. If like don't pay that price on. If you want to buy it in Australia as well, like some people do get nervous ordering things online from overseas retailers. So if you want to buy it in Australia, you would still be stupid to go to eBay and Zing because RoboToys has this up for $350. And so if you don't want to send your money overseas and you're not sure about shipping things into the country, you don't have to worry about that. RoboToys will take care of it for you as well. And I will send this episode to RoboToys too.
Yeah, I've bought from RoboToys before. They're amazing.
I have too. They've supplied lots of my figures. Also Joel, call me. Yeah. So look, we have a quite a puzzle when it comes to the pricing of these things. It's not the first time that EB has sort of hiked up the price on Takara Transformers, but they seem to give us good price on Hasbro Gen Selects. So the deluxe class figures in the Gen Selects line, they're coming in at $40. That's a really good price for them. But it's the ones that come from Takara. So the later Seacons, when they were coming out as individual releases, the later Seacons, they were quite expensive in comparison to
$70 or $80 each, weren't they?
That's right. Yeah. And so like that's the price hike that we're seeing there. And it seems to me that EB just doesn't get good prices on things from Takara, but does from Hasbro. Whether they're getting them from Takara or if they're going through a different distributor or what. It's a bit of a mystery, but yeah, this is Seacon's level pricing and then some.
Because it's sort of like, EB is the only like brick and mortar retailer in Australia that's selling them, yet they're still getting like extortionary prices for them. So it's like they're trying to encourage people to buy online, not from EB Games with these prices.
Maybe. I think you'll find that Hasbro would be perfectly happy if people do buy them from EB, but yeah.
I think it's also they're probably just trying to corner the dumb, wealthy collector market that's going to walk into EB Games and see, these characters that they've recognized and drop $500 on it.
True. There could be, people that know Transformers but aren't actually like collectors or fans of it themselves. They go into EB, see these, G1 80s lookalike toys and think, oh my God, I didn't know Transformers was still a thing. Put down $500.
You know what I will say in EB's not even defense, but what I will say for EB though, I went to EB to pick up this guy, Spoiler Acquisitions, for this afternoon or this week, and the staff. It was really nice to be able to walk into the store, pick up what I wanted, and not only that, the staff were actually genuinely interested in what I'd ordered. They picked it up. They brought it out, and the girl who served me was just like, "Oh, we saw this come in, and we thought we don't see many Transformers come into this store, and so we were wondering what it was." And I said, "Well, you can open it up if you want, because like I'll just get it home and open it, so there's no big difference." And so she did. She got the knife and opened it up, and the other guy behind the counter walked over, and they both had a bit of a look at it, and like it was actually just really nice to speak to someone who is a little bit removed from the Transformers fandom, not people that I talk to all the time instead, and just say, hey, like he's got a very sort of 90s fluoro color design. He's a repaint of an existing figure, but and it's pretty cool. They've looked at, that looks really nice. And they're like, what are you going to display them on? So showed him a photo of the shelves and everything as well. So it was a nice experience to be able to go into the store and pick up my pre-order. So I look forward to doing it more often.
It's always nice to talk about your collection with people that aren't they're not familiar with Transformers. Like people have been asking me about this guy on Twitch. It's like, who the hell's Scorponok? It's like I put up the link to his wiki article and people were reading it and they're like, oh wow, I didn't know Transformers had comic books. And I was like, yeah, they got, like a majority of their characters are known for their comic book portrayals, and we just had a whole conversation about that. It's just always nice to talk about Transformers. Yeah.
I on the non-collectors sort of seeing the collection, I have a new boss at work, and we had a catch up this afternoon, and we got on the call. And the very first thing he said when he saw my video come out, he's just like, "Holy shit, we're not going to talk about work anymore." Like, what is going on the shelves behind you? And he's like, "Is that actually a Zoom background behind you?" I was like, "No, I pulled figures off the shelves and I was interacting with it as well." So yeah, like I said, I've said before that often goes over well on calls with Akamai staff, because Akamai staff can definitely wear their nerd flags on their chest. But it's nice when other people realize as well.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, back to EB. Nobody should buy this figure from EB.
Please don't sponsor us, EB.
EB Game staff are lovely. Give them your money for literally anything else.
Yeah.
I don't know. I usually go with JB for my games.
I think they're about the same price, aren't they? But also,
JB's usually like $10 cheaper.
All right. But also, I won't be sending this episode to EB.
Send it to JB though. JB Hi-Fi.
Yeah, we'll send it to JB. See if they can sponsor us all with some new podcasting gear. You could do with a camera, Bradley.
Yeah. So we got JB, we got Oh My Primus, and Robo Toys.
Yeah, we'll be doing well for sponsors next week. It'll do really well. Yeah. Cool.
If we do a show next week.
Just make sure that you download the podcast 500 times.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on. Let's move on from talking about the bitter disappointment of Volcanicus's Australian price, and we'll move on to talk about
Yay!
What
better looking photos from what I showed you last week?
Oh, definitely, yes. So we've seen leaks of these guys coming out all week long. So we are looking at the apparent Studio Series 86 releases of Hot Rod and Cup, and they are definitely designed. They're definitely new characters. They're new figures, right?
Yeah.
The Hot Rod in particular is turning heads and just getting everyone's panties in a twist because, good Lord, he looks fantastic. There's a lot of people looking at this Hot Rod and just going, "Holy shit, it's better than the Masterpiece." Whereas Cup, I think, is not as much of a home run for me, but he is a new Cup figure, and we'll talk about him. We'll talk about him soon. Let's listen here.
That's a good picture for Cup.
It kind of is. I feel like that's intentional. I'm not sure. So Hot Rod. Hot Rod, the purported Studio Series 86, which I reckon is just going to become a War for Cybertron.
I don't think it's ever going to be a thing. I think it's all just, War for Cybertron.
We will see. He's a fantastic looking figure. I'm pretty sure that he's a deluxe scale figure. New mold, new design, looks very Masterpiece like, which again is something that we've been saying about the Beast figures coming out as well. So it's nice to sort of see that applying to some of the G1s. Fantastic. Let's find the photos of Hot Rod instead of Cup.
I think that photo we saw of Cup was meant to be a nod to, when he's being attacked in Quintessa and he's missing his leg.
Maybe, yeah, and maybe that's actually why the figure is designed that way. You know what? What I've done is I've actually brought up the Cup story that doesn't actually have that much of Hot Rod in it, but that's fine. Let's just go with this one. So, we're seeing a lot of articulation, a lot of options on these characters. Hot Rod has his welder hand. You can see, actually, you know what? I actually wonder, this Hot Rod might actually not be a deluxe because he looks Voyager. I reckon he might be a Voyager because he's got hand articulation. His hand opens and closes. Look at his hand on his left arm.
Yeah, and Cup looks like he doesn't have hand articulation.
Yeah,
you can only see one hand, but are there any alt modes of Rodimus? Is this Rodimus Major or Rodimus Prime?
There are. Let me just try to bring them up in a different window and bring it in.
But I want to say about that Cup, I really like the look of him. That my Cup at the moment on the shelf is Sergeant Cup. He just doesn't look like Cup to me. So
you know what? Sorry, there are pictures of Hot Rod. They're in a better thing there. So he's got the visor as well, and
this has got a lot of features even for a Voyager.
He just doesn't look like he's a Voyager size, but he looks like he's got Voyager features.
It could be another parts count type deal, right? They've been going for this a fair bit recently. Just up the parts count on a lower size figure and bump it up the scale. I don't see any issue with it. If it's making a high quality figure for that price, then why not? It definitely looks good.
So he's got the visor over the eyes from that one scene in the movie. He's got a bit of hand articulation. He's got a non-weird chest design, which is the greatest thing for any Hot Rod figure. And also, like he's sort of got the collar design that eats the 86 cartoon look for the character as well. There's your alt mode, and good Lord, that's gorgeous, isn't it?
Yeah, that looks great. Like, well, yeah. Again, my Rodimus at the moment is Power of the Primes Rodimus, and he just looks like I've got him in his hot rod mode, and even then he looks big.
Mm.
So this is certainly on my must get list.
Yeah. There's a look at his gun. And so you can see there the hands do open up. And it's like, he's got the ankle tilts as well. Just I'm gonna be so happy when I've got this figure. So there is a look. He is a little bit above a deluxe size.
Then again,
But-
Wheeljack is kind of on the smaller scale for a deluxe, isn't he?
So he's a deluxe scale, but he's got some extra features that really belie him out of that class, which might also just lean towards making him a little bit more of a special release.
Especially with this picture we're seeing. I didn't know he came with a pizza cutter.
There's the pizza cutter as well. We've seen the welding arm. There's 2 guns. Like this does look like a pretty special release. This figure. Don't know whether the blast effects come with it or not. Could be cool if they do, but
If that's I was going to say if that's a blast effect from one of the weaponizers, then that's definitely like a large deluxe small Voyager sort of toy.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. Like I said, I'm going to be so happy when I get this figure in hand. Let's just sort of go back to the comparison there. So there's the Masterpiece figure on the left, and there's Hot Rod. There's the new one on the right. Like everything about the new one looks better than the Masterpiece. The wing on the back, larger and more pronounced, which is really what you want in Hot Rod. Like that's such a big statement piece for that character's personality. They've both got the battle visor. They've both sort of got the same sort of sweeping proportions on the arms as well. But I also find that the sort of the transparent stuff at the bottom of the chest is much better on the deluxe figure.
The
Wow.
deluxe
Yeah,
like really solves a lot of those chest problems, but
It really does.
masterpiece for me. Like,
Yeah.
At the same time, though, I think it looks like they've learned a lot from the Masterpiece toy. So I think we should be grateful for the Masterpiece toy existing. But I think
Absolutely.
a lot of people are going to be upgrading to a deluxe, which is weird, isn't it?
It is weird, but it's 2020. Up is down, left is right, and masterpieces are deluxes.
Yeah, and that the Masterpiece with the visor, it looks like he's just wearing spectacles.
Yeah, I guess that's the choice that they made when they were doing the visor for that figure. But so yeah, look, very very impressed with this. I will move heaven and earth to pick this figure up and soon.
And that Optimus Prime.
Wonder if I can find out where people have been buying this from and see if I can get one off the there's
Black
obviously
market.
there's obviously a black market for pre-release figures going to YouTubers, right? So I wonder how to get in on that action. We'll find out.
Next thing you know, Hasbro cracks down on YouTubers getting leaked samples.
Well, they've tried. No, they've tried. There's been leaks for the last few months. There's been heavy leaks of all the upcoming stuff in Kingdom and all of this new stuff that we're seeing. This stuff has been leaked. It's been out there for a while, and we know that Hasbro did fire someone from one of their factories in Vietnam for leaking this stuff.
Yeah.
But the floodgates appear to be open. Now let's go back and let's talk about Cup.
Yep.
Now, where Hot Rod is a fantastic representation of the figure, I feel like Cup is really lacking. It's like I find that the head design for Cup, they've tried to age the character, and I always saw Cup as an older bot but not an ancient bot, and this Cup looks like he's seen things, man.
He looks like he's just got really prominent cheekbones.
Yeah, he's a model.
I'm gonna hit them with blue magnum.
No, I can kill them with my blue steel. But the thing that really I don't like is the window design on the chest. Like That is completely out of the blue when it comes to Cup.
Also, the fact he doesn't have anything sort of behind. Well, he has. Actually, no, his animation model didn't, but his toy does. It's just, but yeah, the windscreen looks.
Windscreen looks weird. The windscreen looks boxy, and unless there's like a piece missing that's supposed to be over it that is to give it a curved look, the backpack looks lovely. The limbs and proportions there, but that does not look like G1 Cup to me.
Maybe we can, because I've got the replacement head for Sergeant Cup with the cigar. Maybe we can replace the head when we get it. Well,
maybe it'll be a new market for replacement heads for Cup. We'll see what happens. But like, it's not the face that's doing it for me. Like, it's the upper chest. Cup is meant to sort of have a rounder body, not a blocky body. So yeah, I don't know. In a year and in a line that's meant to be so representative of the movie version of the figure, this is a real outlier for me.
Well, I mean, at the same time, Cup as a toy doesn't really have much to sort of like the Rodimus toy has a lot of previous toys to sort of build upon and better itself on, but Cup, there hasn't been that many. Yeah. So,
I don't know. I don't think that should matter though. Like, that shouldn't stop them being able to do, a Cup as we would see fit. But it's possible that there's something here that is a prototype and is not yet finished, and that might be why we're looking at this big blocky chest design. I think the face sculpt is probably fairly finished, which is maybe a bit of a shame, but so be it. Other things looking pretty good, like the feet and the limbs and the hands. Those are very on model for Cup, but it's just that chest is just.
What if about like a repro label that made it all one color, or would that still not do it for you?
No, because it's the shape, not the texture.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't a repro label that sort of brought in more of sort of the chest window design from his G1 figure would probably do well, but then I don't know how that would look in his vehicle mode. There's a few shots of his vehicle mode. So you see, like, that chest design very much is built to sort of fit where it is there.
Yeah, it's like he's built for his his alt mode, but not really for his robot mode.
Still, that's that good old Cybertronian pickup. So it's the thing that I like about it is, though, it's more someone from Hasbro. It's sort of, I mean, we know that most of the bots in the '86 movie were sort of designed by Flo Derry, and Flo didn't really design things to be turned into toys. He didn't
design things to be like realized.
Yeah. And so I feel like this is very much Hasbro just going, hey, if we were going to make a movie toy line this year, and we are, this is how we would design Cup. And like, sure, Cup's design was set back in the 80s, but if we were going to do a new one, or if we were going to do Cup from scratch now, this is how we'd do him, because you have to have that windscreen piece for his pickup truck, otherwise the whole thing doesn't work. So it's yeah. What are you thinking about Cup, Max?
I don't get why you don't like him.
You don't get why I don't like him?
Yeah, I think he looks quite good. Maybe I'm just like not attached to the original Cup design, but I'm not consistency enough. Like the way I see it's just Cup has always had sort of his design's never been particularly iconic, if that makes sense. Right? It's not like a character like Hot Rod where you point to very clear things that stand up about him. Cup's just kind of like, he's
old.
Yeah, he's round and he's bluish grey.
Did you say he's round?
Well, he's got very round.
He's not.
His limbs and stuff are all a lot rounder, and he doesn't have as many sharp angles as a lot of other designs.
This is a cursed image in the contortions of his arm as well. If you look at his left arm,
Yeah.
That's a bit of a concern, but yeah. And what is the thing? What is the thing that's in his hand? Is it
That's
actually
the Energon goodies.
Is it the Energon?
Yeah, I was wondering what it was
Looks
at first,
great.
but yeah, that's definitely because I thought this photo we're looking at here, I thought it was like a grenade and he was about to bite the ring out of it, or it's like a walkie-talkie. But no, it's an Energon box that has the Energon goodies in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a
that
cool
sold you?
accessory to come up. Look, I'll probably get it anyway. It's just that I'm just not really there for that chest design. That's all.
At the same time, though, like we were saying, Cup's not very hasn't had many toys. Like whereas with Rodimus, you can repaint him and re-release him as anything. Cup, you can't really, can you?
Well, I mean, when you say you can repaint and re-release,
Orion Pax.
Well, they've already got Orion Paxes that are not Cup, but yeah. Anyway, Cup is Cup. I don't think these figures are necessarily actually being built or designed to be repainted. Like they do seem very specifically Cup and Hot Rod.
Yeah.
So yeah. Like I said, I'll probably get him anyway, but I might not love him to the same extent as I will love Rodimus as if people want to.
I don't think anyone would love Cup to the extent that they're going to love Rodimus, Jason. Let's be honest.
It's true. Interesting looking at this shot, you can sort of see how the shoulders are not quite attached on here as well. It's like I said, it's possible there's pieces missing from this as well. Who knows?
Yeah, it could be pieces missing, mistransformed, or just a design cue, but at the same time, it's a pretty weird design cue.
It is. So let's move on. Let's move on from this guy. There is one more leaked figure that we should talk about quickly, and then it's probably time to end the show because we are well over an hour at the moment. And that is not Volcanicus. It is Scourge.
Oh my goodness, he is a sexy Herald of Unicron.
So once again, Studio Series 86 rumor for Scourge. However, we know Cyclonus is in Kingdom. Why would Scourge not be in Kingdom?
To get the lines together, Jason. Cross promotion.
So we don't have an alt mode photo of this. We only have this photo and a blurry photo from Cybertron Philippines. This is apparently also a Voyager scale figure, so Cyclonus and Scourge should be paired up together like that. What do you think? Like, to me, he looks not necessarily like he's just stepped out of the cartoon, but he looks really close, doesn't he?
He looks really. I mean, again, what was that? My Scourge at the moment. My Scourge at the moment is the flying wing from Generations. This one looks really good. I especially extra points for the pink nails.
Yes, I know, right?
The head sculpt, the collar.
Just on the pink nails though. Notice that is actually a very unusual hand design for a Transformer figure.
I guess it's because they specifically wanted to accentuate his nails.
Yeah.
I think they did the same thing on the 2010 Generations one too.
No, there were solid round circles for the flying wing. Is that the one you meant?
Yeah,
I do recall seeing the sort of the pink accents on the nails, but I think it was still a solid round mold. But having like an open hand on a retail figure is a bit unusual.
No, there've been a few, but yeah, it's at the same time it's not common. This looks really nice. I like how he's got sort of like double wings. Well, it looks like the wings sort of fold out, and then at the same time you got the vehicle mode wings on the back. So the head sculpt, the collar, the chest, just everything.
I feel like there's a distinct effort from Hasbro for people to look at this and just go, "Oh, he's not a shell former." He's not actually a shell former. There's just two pieces of shell on his back.
I'm just wondering if Hasbro might finally do an official toy of Grand Scourge. You know, when he has the Matrix in him. Or people could just buy this and have it say Grand Scourge because he looks
Who knows?
Good.
Who knows? I mean, all they really need is a little poo emoji, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, that was something else, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, they can still you can still add that onto this one. Early days, yeah, we're going to see more of this. There's not that much to see here. Like I said, there's only these sort of 2 photos.
It's like the elusive Scourge. We got him set up and then he ran away.
He ran really fast. So we got a blurry pic. Yeah, again, looks fantastic. I'm more predisposed to like Cyclonus after the sort of the treatment that he's been given in the comics, but you can't have one without the other. So Scourge will be along for the ride as well. Speaking of sort of face sculpts and stuff, as we have that face sculpt looks fantastic as well. He's got sort of the darker Moe and evil goatee, and I'm pretty sure he's got glowing red eyes there as well.
So I know Cyclonus has been portrayed as the brooding. He's like the dark, honorable warrior in the comics, isn't he? Small
interruption here. Go on.
No, because I'm not too familiar with Cyclonus in the modern comics. How's he portrayed? And is Scourge not in there at all?
Yeah, he's sort of like he's very prideful, like you're sensitive, like a noble warrior type. He's like really, he's quite stoic, and you see his character break down over time and open up to people.
Okay.
He's a very significant departure from G1 Cyclonus, but in quite a good way, where he still comes off as this, intimidating, fierce character, but there's some real complexity to him. And Scourge isn't really much of a factor in the comics at all.
Okay, I think
Scourge has not been seen in the comics, but Cyclonus had a very distinct arc there.
Wait, are we talking about the new IDW or old IDW?
I think in old IDW, wasn't he part of the Dead universe?
Yeah, so I think both of them were, and then Cyclonus sort of got away from all that.
Okay, and then so Scourge isn't really that prominent in the comics.
No, he was sort of I think he died, but it's like no.
I actually can't remember what happened to Scourge in the first IDW universe. I don't know.
I think it was didn't Whirl kill him?
Maybe.
I'm gonna look it up now.
Let's find. I'm way ahead of it. I'm already.
It's just because like I was saying, I'm not familiar with the comics, but I know that Cyclonus is portrayed as an honorable warrior, so similar to how he was in the G1 cartoon, yet much more stoic and honorable in the comics. But I'm not at all familiar with Scourge in the comics. I'm pretty sure he was like, wasn't he like an army in the Dead universe? Like he just kept making clones of himself or something? Or was that another character I'm thinking of?
I don't know. Scourge in the I've had to look it up because I can't recall it. So Scourge was sort of an older character like Cyclonus, but was and I think Cyclonus and Scourge were both went into the Dead universe, but things went very different for Scourge. But it's an interesting note on TF Wiki, actually. They said Shane McCarthy originally envisaged Scourge as being the Decepticon equivalent of Cup, so sort of like the old warrior who's seen a lot. But apparently Hasbro vetoed the idea. So, yeah.
That would have been interesting. But, definitely interested in this toy.
yeah, definitely interested in the toy. That is correct.
Have you guys seen the Japanese Headmasters TV series?
No.
The cartoon? Cyclonus and Scourge are, they're heralds of Unicron. They're built up really big in the movie. In Japanese Headmasters, they are two bumbling oafs.
But that's basically season 3.
No, actually, in season 3, they are competent. They are dark and moody. In this one, in Headmasters, they are bumbling. They can't do anything right.
Because they're not Takara's characters.
Well, yeah, I know, but it's just a vast difference to what you're telling me about them in their comics as to how they're portrayed in the Headmasters animation.
Oh yeah, I mean, like a lot of characters have got very different treatment from Headmasters, especially characters like Starsaber and stuff.
Yeah.
Let's move on. I do have a couple of other stories to cover off quickly. One
Which statue story are we covering?
we're not talking about statues, but we are going to talk about water pistols. I don't know.
Squirting on Brad's parade with a water pistol.
Yes. Man, we talk about Brad so much, but he's never on the podcast. This company has announced a fully licensed replica of G1 Megatron as a water pistol. Bradley, you were talking about Beast Wars Megatron having a water pistol in his mouth earlier. Look, a lot of us might look at this and just go, well, that's a stupid idea, but bear in mind, it is not designed for the Australian market. This thing would get banned in a heartbeat in Australia.
I was just going to say, I can see lots of robberies happening with this being used.
I don't know about that. It's very obviously fake and plastic. But yeah, it's not for Australia. It is for a market and a country where you actually can walk down the road with a Megatron in gun mode, walk past the cops, and the cops will not execute you on sight. So it is all right. But yeah, water pistol version of Megatron. I don't really know why, but I just wanted to put it in just for shock value, I guess. 625 millimeters. It says so. That's 62 centimeters, probably including from the silencer to the
I don't think that'll be the gun. Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. And I'm not sure if that artwork is new of Megatron down the bottom right corner as well, but
that looks pretty cool. But yeah, so obviously non-transforming water gun. Looks like February 2021. It
does look like that. I don't know what we're looking at, if that's a price difference of 7,700 perhaps for a special edition, or 7,700 or 7,000. I don't know if that's its price or not.
Maybe one's online and one's in store.
Maybe. So what's that price? That's $94. Jesus Christ.
For a water gun?
For a 60, we just said it's a 63 centimeter water gun.
Yeah, of course.
What I want to know is if the core of the water gun is actually like the handgun itself, and you attach the silencer, what happens to the water? Like, does the silencer somehow enhance the water shooting capability?
It'd be funny, like you're squirting someone, and then you put the silencer on, and the water just is not weak enough.
Just dribbles
out
at the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. I don't know what goes on with that. But you know what? I also don't care. I'm not going to import this to answer that question and get myself arrested. So. Yeah.
I think the best thing about this is just that artwork. That looks like a really amazing artwork, but
it does. I'm sure someone will point out that the artwork was used on something else already. But I don't mind it at all. It looks good. It looks nice. Yeah. All right. On that note, there is one more story to go over quickly, just to follow up to last week's there's two stories. One is Funko has actually done the thing that I said they should do for years, which is release G1 versions of characters as pop vinyls. Like these things will legit fly off the shelves. They're $20. There's Optimus, Bumblebee, Jazz, Soundwave, Megatron. There is a Jetfire, but it's a Funko exclusive, and there's also a Metallic Optimus and a Sound Blaster as well. So there's a lot of figures coming out in the first wave. I don't know if I'm going to buy them.
You're going to get them, Jason.
No, like legit, I don't think I'm going to.
Wasn't that My Little Optimus you got? Wasn't that a pop thing, or is that something different?
No, I don't know what you mean. Wait. Do you mean there's a Mighty Mug? Is that what you mean?
No.
No, I don't know. No, so I haven't ordered these. I don't think I'm going to because I just don't think I need them. Like, also, like, Pops are around for years. Like, if I decide I want them, then I can probably get it. Yeah, but if you do want them, you can head over to Pop Culture. I think EB Games has them as well. However, we also already bagged out EB Games earlier. So head on over to Pop Culture, and I will be sending this episode to Pop Culture. And the final piece of news for this week, following up on last week's stories of the combined gift set for Studio Series Devastator, we do actually have in-hand photographs of it and a size comparison of the box versus the last couple of years of Titans. So Studio Series Devastator is bigger than the last couple of years Titan boxes.
I've got the Titan box here.
Yeah, well, it's bigger than that.
Yeah.
And sort of there's a very, very poor look at what's inside because I think this photo is upside down. There's some bits stuck to the cardboard. There's some bits in the plastic tray. And
they're going to need a separate instruction sheet on how to, how some instruction sheets these days, they say how to get it into their mode from the packaging. There's going to need to be like another instruction booklet just to get them from that to, another mode.
Maybe. I mean, it's almost in combined form, which is probably where most of them are going to sit. I don't know. Also, it looks like it does actually have a battle background scene behind it. You can sort of see the red thing for it to stand on there, and the sort of the pyramids behind it, which impressive. Maybe a little too short. I don't know. We'll see.
Does it come with a scrotum, Jason?
I believe it does. I'm not,
there are
I'm
a few
sure.
accessories there.
No, maybe. Sorry, it might be a third-party add-on that people are actually. There are people talking about the two wrecking balls that I don't think come with it, but I think people are readily purchasing them to add on. The most mocked part of Revenge of the Fallen has become the must-have accessory of 2020.
Well, I look forward to maybe Max showing that off. I don't know.
Max, you going to buy yourself a Devastator?
It's movie Devastator. Don't need to say much else.
Confused. Is that a yes or no? You seem to have become shrouded in darkness there. Are you having like a power blackout or something?
That's because my dog's here and she gets upset at me if I leave the lights on.
I mean, it's nice that you're having electrical problems instead of internet problems.
This is true. It's a rarity.
Yeah.
It's ready. Now that you've said it, Bradley, we haven't made it to the end of the episode with Max's internet connection intact.
We have gone well over our usual time, though.
This is true. That's probably a good sign to get the news share out and return to our Talking Heads configuration. Shall we talk about some acquisitions?
I've got Scorponok and 2 collector's cards because I got my collector's club package this week, and I was like, yay!
Yeah, well, so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about club memberships, but I will just point out that the artwork on the cards is created by our Melbourne-based friend Justin Massaru, who does absolutely fantastic Transformers artwork, and he has been responsible for the collector's cards artwork for a few years for us now. Not all of them. The first couple of years were done by someone else, but Justin is fantastic, and I will be sending this episode of the podcast to him for future sponsorship.
Excellent. But yeah, glad to finally be an official member of the Collectors Club. And yeah.
Fantastic. And so your acquisitions for the week are Scorponok?
Scorponok, yes. I got him over the weekend. I still haven't transformed him yet. He's been my co-host on Twitch last week. And he's just completely amazing. I've done pictures of him on Twitter with G1 Fort Max, his G1 self, and Black Zarak as well. And still haven't transformed him yet. I'm hopefully going to be transforming him over the weekend, and then getting my Hasbro RC.
This is how the Titans work these days, right? Like you need to schedule in a window of time to transform them. It's like I haven't had time to do it yet, but I'm hoping that there's a window from 2 to 4 p.m. Sunday.
The instructions are pretty okay.
Yeah, bloody hell.
That was. How did you hear that?
What?
How did you hear my sneeze? That was weird.
Did you?
Oh, did you hear me sneeze, or did you just see me move?
No, I didn't hear anything.
Okay, good. Right, no, that's good because I muted my microphone so that you wouldn't hear me sneeze. And then when I sneezed, someone said, "Oh my god!" And I was.
Oh no, I think it was just because I was showing off the instructions.
Okay, good.
I was gonna say I'm still not on the central view yet. By the way,
you're not, because every time I do that, you complain that I leave you there.
Well, yeah, that's your fault, not mine. Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, no, that's fair. We needed widescreen to see the instructions. That's okay.
Yeah, so there's the instructions. He, like we were saying for Studio Series Devastator, he does come with instructions when you first get him out of the box on how to attach his tail. I think I've done them correctly.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool. What I really like about this over the G1 toy, though, is the G1 toy, like, just consists of... Hang on, I'll get him out.
Yeah.
G1 toy just consists of, like, this is the head and the rest is just a scorpion head. For this, the whole thing is his head and also his scorpion mode head. If I can just get it out here. There we go. So, yeah, that's his scorpion mode head. You can see, like, the red eyes.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And
okay.
So in city mode, this whole unit just sits inside the city mode. Like, it doesn't actually stay on here like it does with a G1 toy. It just sits in the middle and you build over it.
I gotta say that, so Titan Scorponok, he does seem to be probably the best received of the Titans that I've seen. Like, people are really into him and they're really enjoying the figure, and it makes me really glad. I am waiting until he becomes cheaper, but yes.
It's just because it's been over 35 years, and to finally get a Scorponok that can stand toe to toe with Fort Max, like an official
absolutely
Scorponok. Because you saw the picture I did on Twitter with the G1 Scorponok and how he's only up to like here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's just nice to finally have a Scorponok that can stand toe to toe with Fort Max. So,
agree.
I'm happy. He also takes nods from the Headmasters Japanese show, so that's an extra win for me. And I look forward to getting Fast Track, and I'm praying that this will be repainted into Black Zarak.
We'll see.
Well, we're getting Black Ryuchu.
Yeah, I feel like people are misreading the inspiration of that figure as a confirmation that they're going to repaint Scorponok. But
I'm not saying it's a confirmation or anything. I'm just the eternal optimist, I guess.
Yeah, it's just
hope does spring eternal.
All the Titan repaints have been a bit of a letdown so far, so I wouldn't be.
I'm happy. Another reason I'd like to see a Black Zarak repaint is just because I've got the Grand Maximus repaint of Hasbro Fortress Maximus. So it'll be nice to have those opposites standing side by side as well. But that's me for the week. Titan class Scorponok. Haven't transformed him yet. He does have fewer accessories than the G1 self, but at the same time, it's nice to have a Scorponok that can stand toe-to-toe with Fort Max. And also, the head mode does transform into what looks like Zarak from the Headmasters, and his head does not like to stay on.
Off with his head.
Yeah, off with his head.
Max, how are you doing for acquisitions there? You didn't fill in much in the sheet.
I forgot to fill in the sheet, but I do have some.
No, you did say it's KO MP44.
Sorry?
You did fill in the sheet.
That was a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that was a couple of weeks ago. This is totally different. This is Generation Select Centurion.
Yes.
You may recall was up for raffle in the TCCA Facebook group the other week.
Yep.
and I just happen to have won it, which I'm not about to complain about because it is an excellent little package. So, first and foremost, I'll shill that and say, if you want to try and win some figures, it's worked out for me. So give it a crack in a TCCA group. It'll go to support the club. And the figures that they're putting up are really, really solid. Centurion here, I love him to bits. It's, this figure itself isn't the main draw of a package, but it's excellent. Transformation's a bit of a non-factor, but he breaks apart into all his little weapon segments and everything. He's decently.
So he
posed.
basically transforms like everyone in Age of Extinction.
Yeah, basically. It's G1 AOE, but it looks like the spitting image of those Centurions from the comic. And it's hard to see on camera or in photos, but there's this nice sort of like subtle fading to a lot of the paint on him. So he is just like a flat grey figure, but he comes across as really classy because there's a few areas of paint fading and then lots of little details picked out to just make it feel a bit premium.
Yeah, it does. And of course, the grey version of him makes him look more like a Cylon as well.
Yeah, it's a really solid little figure. It's not a really iconic character or anything, but it's a nice addition. But that is not the main draw to the set. The main draw is this bag of stuff here.
Yeah, it's the bag of stuff that comes in the box. Inside the box.
It takes half a box is taken up by just this bag of everything you could want. I won't go through everything, but it's that. I'm sure you guys probably all know it. It's where Hasbro just decided to cram in as many iconic weapons and accessories into one box as they could. So you got stuff like your Megatron's mace, Ravage cage, jetpack. All the different weapon modes like Megatron gun mode, Shockwave gun mode, Soundwaves, cassette mode, a tiny little Optimus Prime minifigure, Energon cubes, Optimus's rifle.
So the tiny little Optimus is made to be in scale with the Unicron figure that's coming next year. However, Optimus never met Unicron.
Yeah.
I guess it could be a comic thing then, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, these are all really excellent. It's such a cool idea for a set. I really, really love that I went to the effort of doing this. And it's not like they're sort of half-assed it either. Like there's a decent, it's just simple chunks of plastic. There's variations in color on a few of them. They're obviously not, high quality like collector's pieces or anything. Nothing too fancy, but your Soundwave's got a bit of paint. You can disassemble Ravage cage. There's little bits of sculpted detail on the mace and all that. So for what could be just a bag of throwaway little bits and pieces to stick on your figures, they've actually gone to quite a bit of effort there, and I'm really happy with what they've done.
Yeah, I feel I'm quite impressed that they went to the effort that they went to with the accessory set. I feel like the accessories haven't all worked out for the best. Like I feel like the Prime gun is maybe a little bit too long now.
Yeah, people have been saying that.
Yeah, and some of them. It's like, oh great, you've given me a piece of plastic that looks like a Megatron gun, but it's not black. The Shockwave isn't. They could have just made the Shockwave purple, but it's grey, and so yeah,
Shockwave.
yeah. He's actually Astro Magnum, yes.
Yeah,
but I guess the general thing with that set is, they could have made it just like, okay, here's a couple of things, like there's a couple of guns like Prime's rifle, and Megatron's alt mode and Soundwave cassette, and call that a day. But they've just gone ahead and made there's a lot of stuff in here. I didn't count the entire set, but there's a lot here. It's they didn't go to a half measure, but actually really seem to have crammed as much in as they possibly could.
Oh, that's great. And congratulations on being the winner for the raffle. We will talk about raffles and the like shortly. I'm going to go through my acquisitions fairly quickly because I've already posted them on Facebook and stuff, and a lot of them are not.
Just quickly show you. This is Zarak in his robot mode.
There we go.
Looking very, very.
He does look very, very much like the sort of the classic Zarak design that you used to. I think he's more from the comics, actually.
This is just from the Headmasters. Well, that's where I know it from anyway.
Yeah.
And also, he does have a bit of part swarming, which I thought the horns just stay on the side of his head. But according to the instructions, you pop them off and you just stick them onto his backpack.
Yeah, right.
Less of so a bit more of a involved transformation, but still happy to have a Japanese Headmasters Zarak.
Fantastic. All right, I'm going to go. It's my turn. I'm going to go through these fairly quickly. So I had a bit of a Seeker week. I got the Cybertronian villain Seekers from Earthrise. That's Thundercracker and Skywarp. And he's not going to be listening, but a massive thank you to Instagram's Copperbot Shots for supplying those for me. He actually went out to a Target store in the US and bought them and sold them to me at cost price. So very, very grateful to him for that. He's a lovely guy. I've also got the Earthrise Seeker Elites, the 2-pack with Dirge and Ramjet that has come out a couple of weeks ago. That has arrived. I've got Ramjet here. You can sort of see if I do the TV Weather Girl thing. You've got the villains there, and you've got Dirge on the shelf over there as well. Of course, we are waiting for Thrust, who has yet to turn up, but might turn up. Who knows? I reckon he might end up in Jensen. We have seen a Thrust. He was leaked alongside Cyclonus and Maverick. So, we have seen a Thrust. I'm pretty sure that there is one. Actually, I might be telling a lie. I feel like we've seen it, but I feel like someone may have photoshopped it recently to make it a fake. But Thrust has been seen. The name has been seen in various leaks as coming out. But, you wouldn't be doing without
the weekend, couldn't he?
He could be, yes. Yeah, that's possible, as PulseCon is happening over the weekend. Also got this wonderful little woman from Headmasters Junior, Minerva, or as she's now known by fans hobby, Athena. Really, really nice figure. No, that's fine. So
I was going to say, anyone listening to the audio of this.
So she does come with 2 guns, and one clips onto the spot on her waist, and that was what fell off because I watched it. But really nice, really intuitive transformation. I got sort of about 70% through it without sort of needing to go to the instructions. And she is, of course, a Headmaster as well. As the original figure was a Headmaster Junior, and she also comes with you can't really. How do I do this? If I hold it down, she does come with the stats. Bars in the chest, although they're not really colored for anything. But that's really cool. And she's a really nice looking figure. Things don't necessarily tab in where they should on this. I feel like I expect better of fans hobby after seeing things like Power Baser. So this is definitely a step down from there, but it is a pretty nice looking figure nonetheless.
Those stats, is that a sticker, or do they actually move when you put the Headmaster in?
They do move. They actually move as you open the chest up. In fact, I can pull that out and I can show that there. If I hide, then maybe it'll focus on that instead of me. But so where's my camera? There we are. So you can sort of see as the chest piece closes up, they move. Maybe. Yeah. So it's clever. She's a really nice looking figure. Like I said, just maybe a little bit disappointing in terms of the quality and having everything tab in. Otherwise, got a very fun couple of little figures in Slitherfang, the Transformers version of Cobra. Slitherfang, actually, considering the photographs that we've seen just have him sort of facing straight forward, he's got quite a lot of articulation. Like the head moves, the head sort of tilts up and down, and that's pretty much about it. And I think the little, what am I doing? the little tail ends up moving a little bit as well. So
Oh, nice.
surprising amount of movement in there. And yeah, no, he's a nice looking little snake, and also got this character who is, I don't know, I can't really remember who he is, but yeah, he turns into some kind of a gun in this version. I am talking about Rung.
Pizza cutter.
The pizza cutter. I believe I actually quite like the fact that this figure's alt form, while they've stuck an effects part on him to make him sort of a weapon, his alt form is actually sort of in keeping with his alt form in the comics, where it's just sort of a big ornament.
Isn't he meant to be like a Matrix maker, or is that like he doesn't transform for that?
That's a bit of a spoiler for the comics. I'm not going to tell you. You're going to have to read the comics for that.
I'll just look it up on the wiki.
Yeah. You're going to have to read the comics or read the wiki page. However, I will just say it's much more satisfying if you read the comics.
Okay.
So those are my acquisitions for the week. My cat is about to make a fuss. And
I saw his ear on one side, and now I'm seeing his tail on the other.
Yeah. The tail is here because he's about to jump off the desk. Let's so very quickly, like, we are horribly over time. It's going to be a bumper episode, and it'll probably take about 3 weeks for Brad to edit this one. We apologize, Brad. Club news. It is a new membership year for the club now. We do have memberships up. Membership this year is $10. For $10, you will get a member pack, which includes those 2 collector cards that Bradley showed off earlier, a faction badge for your car / motorbike / fridge / other electrical appliances, and a bumper sticker that is specific to the faction that you've selected. It's either the Megatron made me do it, or this vehicle's frequently stopping and rolling out Autobot badge or Autobot sticker. This year we're trying to help people out with freight forwarding. So if people are signed up as members of the club and they want to get access to some US exclusives, hit me up and have a bit of a chat. And we do have a variety of ways for you to get things from overseas sellers into the country. It's not always cheap, but getting an exclusive and paying for it is better than not getting an exclusive, right? So that's pretty much how we look at it. We do have a few group buys going for things that are coming on Amazon later in the year. I think the next one up is the Autobot Alliance pack, which is coming in November, and then in December there's the Paradron Medics pack. Now, the Paradron Medic pack is actually apparently one of 5, so I think we might see more of them announced this weekend as well. We will see how we go. So look, club membership, it is a little bit different this year. It's kind of a new club. Things are being run by myself, Simon, and Chris, and not everything is the same as it was for setup and stuff for the club in years gone by. But we're doing our best to sort of make things a bit of a smooth transition. So, excuse me, make things a bit of a smooth transition. So, if I would say I would like to appeal to people who are listening to the podcast. If the club has helped you out in the past, if we've kept you safe from some kind of a scammer by not letting them into the buy sell trade group, if we've given you some enjoyment and something to do while you're enjoying your Transformers fandom online, or if you've come up to us at a convention and met us and joined the club through there, please do consider supporting the club. The $10 donation goes to the club running fees and running costs. 10% of revenue that comes in the door this year is also going to the I'll say this 10 times fast, the Melbourne Royal Children's Hospital. And the reason we've chosen them as a charity to support is because a lot of people who are in the club do have young families, and so the Children's Hospital is something that we felt connected very well with our audience and our members. So when you see us run a raffle, 10% of whatever we get from that raffle, and that's not profit, that's revenue. So when we say that there's going to be 100 tickets at $5 each, when we sell those 100 tickets, that's $500. It's a little bit less if people use PayPal goods and services. That money, 10% of that goes to the Royal Children's Hospital. We're not pulling any 10% of profits or anything like that. Straight up 10%. You can see how much money comes in the door because you can see how many people buy tickets. 10% of membership revenue also going to the hospital. I think it's fantastic. We've done things before for the Royal Children's Hospital, like we've done a toy drive and things like that. But I think it's really good that we're actually in a position where we can say, hey, we're going to take this revenue, we're going to slice a chunk off it. No matter what happens, it's going to go to the Royal Melbourne, the Royal Children's Hospital. I keep stumbling over that. If you believe in that as a good thing to do, if you like participating in our raffles, if we've benefited you in any way, please do consider becoming a member of the club. Now, you can find information on how to do it at transformerscca.com. And if you're in our Facebook group, you can message the Transformers Collectors Club of Australia Inc. Facebook page, and there's a bot that runs on the page messenger account, and I'll give you all of the information that you need to sign up as a member. Right, now that is done, we're now at about an hour and 45 minutes, so we are horribly over time. It is time to end the show. Thank you for listening, everyone. If you are watching along with the live record, and I have seen a few people sort of dropping in and out. It is a Friday night. We appreciate your time watching us. We appreciate that you all have something better to do, unless you're in Victoria. So maybe the people watching on Friday night are Victorians. We do apologise, and we hope you guys get out of a lockdown very soon. To find out more about these stories, there will be links in the show notes, and those are posted to the Podbean site, which is transformersweekly.podbean.com. They're on the Transformers Weekly Facebook page, and they'll be in the downloaded episode when you come up. All three of us in the Transformers Collectors Club Australia group on Facebook. You can find Max at Max Enough Cult on Twitter, and you can find Brad at Groovy Guy with 00 and is it Groovy Guy with 00 and 69 on the end of your Twitter?
Yes,
Groovy Guy 69 with 00 and 69. And you can find me on Twitter at JM77 as well. If you're not
change that shill. I'm sorry. I'm trying to gear my Twitter more towards work-related stuff.
All right.
So well, looking for more sort of nerdy and pop culture type things, then I am at Mean Cryptum on Twitter at the moment.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna have to. I'll have to give you a follow. Yeah, it's always nice finding out these things live, Max. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, I entirely forgot to mention that. Mostly because my co-workers and uni lecturers follow me on Twitter, so I try and avoid giving away certain details.
Fair enough. That's gone well then. It's also great that this week, more than any other week, I chose to actually at the presenters of the podcast on Twitter before the live broadcast started. So,
yeah,
this has worked out really well for us. Anyway, look, those we'll put all that info up on the show notes. If you want to follow us, have a bit of a chat. The easiest thing to do is find us in Transformers Collectors Club Australia group on Facebook. You can find the podcast on iTunes, Pocket Casts, YouTube, more. If you're listening this far into the podcast, you've probably downloaded it already, so that's fine. We are a production of Transformers Collectors Club Australia, a registered club in Victoria run by volunteers donating their time and money to make the club better for everyone. We want to connect Transformers fans around the country. We do it by engaging the community and finding things for people to do, especially in lockdown and all things all week round. You can find out more information about our membership at transformerscca.com. That is it from us. Bradley, what's your Twitch address?
Twitch.tv/groovyguy0069. I also like to add that it's my birthday on Sunday, and I'll be doing a Sunday birthday stream. But by the time you hear this,
Sunday.
I just realised we share the same birthday. So happy birthday, Brad!
Happy birthday! So you can find Bradley on Twitch.tv. Just look for the big pair of legs with the Scorponok in between them.
with a stinger in between them.
That is it from us. We'll be back with more Transformers news next time.
I reckon maybe next week if the Hasbro PulseCon is,
you know what, there will be news from PulseCon to talk about, and we'll see. We probably should have another episode next week for you. All right. Thanks for
this one's gone over just to make up for all the missed episodes.
It's true. Yeah. That's very true. All right. Thank you for listening, everyone. Thank you for watching. We will see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye. Oh,
that was quick.
He's gone completely. Okay.
It was just done with that shit.
I don't know. All right, buddy. Take it easy.